False friend. In the city of Alexandria, there was a dyer called Abu Seer. He was a good workman, but at the same time he was very lazy and deceitful. If anyone gave him clothes for dyeing, he sold them and spent the money on food. After evading the customers as long as he could, he told them in the end that his shop was looted. In course of time, several people realized what sort of man Abu Seer was. If still some strangers entrusted him with the cloth for dyeing, Abu Seer continued to deceive them too. At last he stopped opening his shop every day. Instead, he sat in the barber shop opposite all the time and watched the persons who came to his shop. If they were old customers who came for their cloth, he allowed them to see that the shop was closed and go away. If they were new customers who brought cloth for dyeing, he went out of the barber shop, took the cloth, sold it, and bought what all food he could with the money. This could not go on forever. One day, Abu Seer saw from the barber shop that the government officials sealed the shop because his creditors brought attachment to his property. The barber was a gentle and good-natured man called Abu Seer. How long can you run your trade through swindling? Abu Seer told Abu Seer. Why can't you be content with what Allah is willing to give? What can I do? Abu Seer said. I work all day and still cannot make enough to have a good meal. You make enough money in your profession, so you can afford to be honest. You are quite mistaken, said Abu Seer. I make very little money. I think we can live better if we leave this city and go somewhere else. The dyer agreed to do this. They both swore that they should support each other if one of them was unemployed and that they should share their earnings equally if one earned more and the other less. The next morning they went to the river and got into a boat. The little food they took with them was soon spent and the barber went among the passengers, shaved them and accepted food from them in payment. A few people gave him both food and money. Abu Seer was the only barber on the boat and the captain of the boat heard about him and sent for him. After getting shaved, the captain offered the barber money, but Abu Seer refused it and told him their story. That is all right, said the captain. You and your friend can dine with me. When it is time for dinner, come to my room with him. Abu Seer thanked the captain and making a bundle of all the food he got from the other passengers went to the dyer who lay down and slept the moment he got onto the boat. He woke up only to eat. When the barber woke him, the dyer said, Do not mistake me, brother. I am so giddy that I cannot even stand up. He then began to gobble up the food brought by the barber. Why do you eat this food? The captain of the boat has invited both of us for a feast. It is almost dinner hour now, said the barber. How can I come? Said the dyer. I cannot even stand up. He went on eating till he was full. But where is your friend? The captain asked the barber when he went alone to dine with him. My friend is suffering from an attack of seasickness, replied the barber. When they had their meal, the captain heaped a lot of food stuff on a plate and sent them along with the barber for his friend. The dyer woke up, ate all the stuff sent to him by the captain and again went to sleep. After sailing the open sea for 3 weeks, the boat reached a city. Both the friends got out of the boat and went into the city. They hired for themselves a room at the serai and promptly the dyer lay down to sleep. He went on sleeping night and day, only waking up to eat. The barber, on the other hand, went out each day, plied his trade and came home with vegetables and other foodstuffs. He prepared a meal for himself and his friend, woke him up and fed him. He never once accused his friend of being lazy. The barber used to go out often to see the sights of the city and at such times he used to tell his friend, I am going out, you had better rest properly. 40 days went by and the barber fell ill. He gave some money to the watchman of the serai and requested him to get some food from outside. Abu Seer still continued to sleep and eat. On the 5th day, the barber was unconscious with high fever and he could not send the watchman for food. Abu Seer began to feel the pangs of hunger. He got up and searched Abu Seer's shirt in the pockets of which he found some money. Abu Seer took it and slipped out into the city like a thief. It was a very fine city, but Abu Seer saw a strange thing. The people in the streets were wearing either white clothes or clothes dyed blue. No other color was to be seen. In order to find out the reason for this, Abu Kir went into a dyeing shop and asked that his kerchief should be dyed. "What color will you give me? What will you charge me?" he asked the shopman. "I shall dye it blue, of course," said the shopman. "It will cost you 20 silver pieces." Abu Kir engaged the man in conversation and found out several things. The blue dye was abundantly available in the town and it was dead cheap. All the dyers used only blue. They knew no other dye. There were only 40 dyers in the entire city, but they were so well united that they made it impossible for anyone else to start a dyeing shop or compete with them. Having learned these facts, Abu Kir went to the king and told him that he could dye clothes in all colors. He requested to be permitted to open a dyeing shop in the city. The king was surprised that anyone could dye clothes in all colors. He not only granted permission to Abu Kir to open a dyeing shop, but he even advanced him 5,000 gold pieces for this work and made a further gift of some slaves to work for him. A house was set apart for this. Abu Kir bought what all was necessary to start a first-class dyeing establishment and set himself up as a master dyer. To start with, the king sent him several pieces of cloth. Abu Kir dyed all of them in various colors and displayed them in his shop front. Crowds gathered to see this wonder and Abu Kir had all the publicity he wanted. Story to be continued. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.